This is Two Chicks Talkin Flicks, where we review movies. Love them or hate them, someone's got to do it. So enjoy the show. Hi, I'm Sarah.
And I'm April.
And this is Two Chicks Talkin Flicks.
And anything else that gets in the mix.
So, April.
Sarah.
It has been 20 years since this movie hit the big screen.
Oh my God.
I was 18 years old.
I was maybe 21, 22 or something?
Yeah. I had just moved here a couple months before, and the mall where in our town that we live in had just opened up a brand new AMC. And I was like, I have to go because I didn't have a job, or maybe I did have a job, but I was off that day. Whatever, it doesn't matter. So I went to the mall. I bought my cousin a birthday gift, and I bought her a small t-shirt from Abercrombie and Finch. And then when I gave it to her, she said, I wear an extra small. And I was like, you can go fuck yourself. I didn't say that to her.
Yeah.
But I thought it. And it has bothered me every day since then. But anyways, the movie I chose to see was 8 Mile.
Yes.
And I was so excited. I remember when one of his CDs came out, I wasn't quite 18 yet. I was literally like 2 weeks away from my age. No, even less than that, because my best friend in high school, her birthday's on the 22nd of November. And the CD came out sometime between the 22nd of November and the 19th of December. And she had to buy it for me because I wasn't old enough.
Do they actually card you?
At the place I worked at, yeah, they did.
Oh.
So I wasn't able to buy it. She had to pay for it. Or
Why
she
didn't
had
you
to
buy
get
it somewhere else?
Well, there's multitude of reasons. One,
Convenience.
I was there. It was on sale, I think. That's probably why. We didn't have to pay taxes. And two, Walmart only has the edited. Yeah. I probably could have bought it at this other store we used to go to. I don't know why I didn't, but specifically, I think I got my discount at work. That's probably why I did it. But I couldn't buy it, so she had to buy it. So, yeah, it was crazy.
Obviously, I saw this movie, but I have a better memory of buying the DVD because it had the Superman video with it. It was like, the little bonus.
Yeah.
And dude, we watched that video so many times trying to memorize the words. Like me and Yolanda, like that was our thing. Like we know the Superman lyrics.
Yeah. I do like that song.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've always been a huge fan of Eminem. I have like 4 of his CDs.
Do you know the conspiracy theory of the real actor, the real person having actually died and being replaced, and that's why his music changed?
What?
Yes. It's like this conspiracy theory. Because if you think about it, he used to have like really fun music, and then he supposedly died in a car crash and the record label replaced him. And that's why his music now is like so serious.
Well, I think he did die. Like, I think he actually died and they revived him. And he came back to life.
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure he overdosed and then he did die. And I mean, maybe not. Maybe he was very close to dying. I do know that. That's what one of his albums is all about. But yes, so for those of you not in the know, we are reviewing 8 Mile for its 20th anniversary. I couldn't think of any other movie that we should do, to celebrate Thanksgiving month, but to do 8 Mile. So, did you know that they have an actual restaurant called Mom's Spaghetti?
It doesn't surprise me.
It's his restaurant.
Oh, okay.
Which is pretty cool. I don't know if I often get to Detroit, but if I ever do, that would be a fun place to go to. I'm sure all the tourists go there, but
Detroit's just never been on my radar of places to go to.
no. So I'm so sorry for any listeners we have in Detroit, but Michigan. I don't know. I don't know if I have the need to go to Michigan. Maybe they do have a lot of Great Lakes.
The Great Lakes are in a great big part of that area. If anything, I would like to see Lake Erie.
Yeah.
Which one would you want to see?
Superior, because it's supposed to be the best, right? I mean, I don't know. I don't know anything about their lakes, but I know it's the UP. They call it the UP, the Upper Peninsula. Peninsula. Oh, that was a mouthful. But that's all I know about Detroit. Oh, they have Rock City. I mean, there's that. Any other Detroit facts that you know of?
No.
Yeah, me neither.
It used to be Motor City, but then they moved to the suburbs.
True.
So they're still in the area, but they basically pulled out.
Well, it's kind of like in the movie. They talk about how their city, it's hard to be proud of your city when it has houses that look like that.
Yeah.
It's just that sucks you can't come home and be proud when you're living in such despair.
Yeah, I do since this movie's come out, at least I know that Detroit does have this thing where they do now demolish houses and they build community gardens. I believe the city owns the lots now, but they're more of if you want, you can plant there. We're not going to say anything.
Yeah.
So they're building a very nice community. So that's really come up,
I like that.
It's just there's a lot of work.
Yeah.
The town needs money and you need that by bringing people in. So.
All right. Well, for those of you who don't know, let me give a brief synopsis of this movie.
Since April failed last time, just said the whole movie back in October, but whatever.
That's fine. So this movie stars Marshall Mathers, Slim Shady, Eminem, whatever you want to call him.
Eminem.
As Jimmy Smith. He is
Junior.
Which I don't even know if he knows his dad. But in the movie he plays a guy who's trying to start up his own rap career, and so he's going and doing battles at underground places. He has a group of friends. His best friend hosts the battles, and his very first one he chokes, and he has to move home with his mom in a trailer and his sister lives there. His girlfriend, they broke up, and then she said she was pregnant. So he left her the car because that's what people do. That makes sense. And
then he sees her at the bar.
Right? Smoking a cigarette.
What would be worse for an unborn baby? Alcohol or cigarettes?
Yes.
I think the alcohol.
Alcohol probably worse.
That's what I
over
said.
time. Nicotine could be pretty bad.
Oh, I didn't think about the nicotine part. I was just baby can't breathe.
Yeah, the baby.
He's not inhaling. You're right.
Yeah. And then he has a job at the plant. I don't know,
And personally, I think that's a pretty good job.
Yeah. It's probably a union, and union jobs are pretty good.
Yeah, but I feel like maybe he's just part-time or seasonal because he's asking for more hours.
Well, he just started. Yeah, he wants some overtime. April knows about that.
Oh, yes. I've just come off a 13-day. Well, cross fingers. You never know. They might call me in tomorrow.
That happened to me one time when I worked at Six Flags. I worked 14 days straight in the summer.
Oh,
12-hour days. They were either 10 or 12-hour days. And they asked me if I could work the next day. I said, no.
Yeah, no.
I normally would come in, but I was like, I can't. I physically can't.
Yeah, when I complained about working 12 days straight, one of my coworkers is like, oh, really? I'm about to start a 21-day round.
Oh, wow.
He's an overnight pharmacist.
Oh, okay.
So he was working basically our store, another store, back to our store before he would finally be off.
Oh, wow.
So I was like, okay, fine, I won't complain. Fine,
damn.
you win. Okay, 21 days.
Yeah, but like his job is more mental. Your job is more physical. So, I mean, 13 days, that's a lot. You know, on the body, it's very taxing. But yeah, so he moves back home with his mom. His mom is dating this guy that low key they went to school with.
Oh my God.
And he meets this girl, Alex. Things happen. He gets beat up and then he wins the battle.
Yep.
That's pretty much what happened. We'll fill you in, but that's the gist. All right. So taking it to the top. He literally had vomit on his sweater already.
Yeah.
Probably wasn't mom's spaghetti, but he did have vomit on his sweater already.
Yep.
That's just such a fun line. As much as I don't like vomit, it's very memorable.
Yep.
I also used to have a hoodie that was that color. So I dig it. I don't know. That's just a side note.
Okay.
I had mud on my hoodie that looked like that and I couldn't return it. And I was very sad.
So sad.
Well, we had like a freak snowstorm.
I remember
Yeah.
the cute guy.
Yeah.
You fell in front of the cute guy.
Yep. So Micah, Mekhi Phifer, I remember him from ER and also the Brandy and Monica video, The Boy Is Mine. And seeing him in Dredge just cracks me up because I know they're not real. They're not his real hair. And it just makes me laugh every time I see him like that. Because I'm just like, no, you're supposed to be in like a scrubs and a jacket. I want to know, did he know Mekhi Phifer was going to be in the movie when he wrote the song? Or did he write that line because Mekhi Phifer was in the movie?
I believe he wrote the song as they were filming.
Okay, well, so then he would know.
Yeah. Like he was taking inspiration from their film set and working on it.
That makes sense. And I always forget it's Anthony Mackie who is Papa Doc. When I saw him, I was like, God, that guy looks so familiar. Duh, he's the Winter Soldier, right?
What?
Is he's the new Captain America.
Was he in this?
He's Papa Doc.
I don't know who that is.
He's the one he battles at the end and he wins.
Oh.
That's Anthony Mackie.
That didn't look like him. No way.
Yeah, that's him.
Oh, okay.
This is like his first movie.
Oh.
I know the guy, but every time I see the movie, I'm like, he looks so familiar and I can't picture him. And then I had to look it up and I was like, oh yeah. He's the new Captain America. I think it's funny that his rapper name is B Rabbit.
Yeah, it's a terrible name.
No, it's not a very good not a very good name. Or would you rather have that or Cheddar Bob? And how does Cheddar Bob get his name Cheddar Bob?
He probably eats a bunch of cheddar or Chester Cheetah.
That's what I was thinking. He's like really into Cheetos. And his name's Robert. And they're like, okay, Cheddar Bob. Like, I don't know.
Yup.
Let's see here. Oh, So he walks in on his mom
Oh my gosh.
having adult fun
Yeah.
with a guy, Greg,
I don't know.
that he used to, that he's a little younger than him.
Yeah.
But they went to the same school. Mm-hmm. And now he's boinking his mom.
I actually knew a person who their parents were divorced, and I believe she was a freshman or something.
Oh, gross.
And her dad started dating like a girl from her school.
Ugh.
Yes.
Oh, that's not
and
okay.
the daughter refused to go to school with her. He's like, no, you need to send her to another school, because she actually moved in like yeah, or I believe. And she's like, no, she needs to go to another school or private school or whatever. And I don't really know what happened. Maybe she dropped out or something. I don't know. But yeah.
That's messed up. Because I'm sure he wasn't just like holding hands with this girl.
Yeah, no, they were together.
Yeah. Ew. And
Yeah.
what did her parents think?
I don't know.
That's,
I don't know. I don't ask details. You know, it takes a few years for me to accumulate the details.
April, we need the details.
Nah, it's not important. It doesn't even matter.
So I love that his mom got mad at him because he walked in on her.
Why didn't you call? The phone was turned off.
Yeah, and then she was like, "Oh, I know. I'm gonna go and talk to him tomorrow." I was like, "So you knew that? That was a stupid thing to say." Stupid mom,
Yep. And if you wanted him to knock, you should have locked the door.
right?
Or maybe it was locked and he unlocked it. But if he unlocked it, then you would have heard him rattling with it.
Yeah.
So whatever.
Oh, I also love that she gave Rabbit a car for his birthday, and it doesn't run. Happy birthday!
At least he has something to work with.
That's true.
He's the idiot who gave his car away.
Yeah, he should have swapped cars with her. Be like, hey, here's this car.
He should have never given her that car.
I like the mom met the boyfriend at bingo, because that's where I meet all my men. Actually, in real life, he's actually 2 years younger than Eminem. Fun little side note. Oh, and he hit on Kim Basinger the whole time. It said that
He's one of those method actors.
yeah, it said, well, I hope not, because that would mean his character was into his mom.
Are you talking about Eminem hitting
Yes.
on her?
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
I thought the
No.
wow.
Yeah, it said Eminem was flirting with Kim Basinger from the moment she came on set. He kept calling her my sweet honey pot and the Oscar baby.
Honey pot?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. But plot twist, he was also supposedly romantically linked with Brittany Murphy at the same time. So he was hooking up with, I guess, both of them.
I mean,
Hey,
do what you
bang,
gotta
bang.
do.
He was getting it.
Did you ever see the interview with James Franco and
Seth Rogen.
yeah. She's honeypotting you.
Let's see here. Oh, speaking of, this is my next note. It says Seth Rogen and Jason Segel both auditioned to be Cheddar Bob. And I think that would have been a completely different movie had the two of them been Cheddar Bob. Especially Jason Segel. That would have been a completely different character. So I like how they go and he shoots at a cop car.
Oh my God, that was so dumb.
And then as they're driving, they hear the sirens behind them and they're like, oh no. And they're like, why are you stopping? He's like, my car died.
Why'd you stop the radio? That's what it was.
And he's like, I don't know, my car's died. And so then he turns into the street and the cop car goes past them. And they're like, oh man, you were scared. No, you were scared. It was a fun little scene. So Eminem stated that in interviews that he did not play himself, But I always heard that this was like a movie basically written about his life, just with like a twist. It was like loosely based on his life in 8 Mile.
I don't want to say it was loosely based. It was more like I don't even know what I'm trying to say. Inspired?
Yeah. That's basically the same.
Yeah, because, I mean, he's not really playing himself.
No, he's not.
But there are aspects in his life that have
bled into this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Could you imagine Eliza Dushku, Sarah Michelle Gellar, Alicia Silverstone, or Christina Ricci playing the Brittany Murphy character of Alex?
I can see Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Really?
Yeah, I could see that.
I could see Christina Ricci, but I don't really think the other ones. I think that it would just been weird. Or maybe Elijah Dushku.
Definitely not Alicia Silverstone.
No.
She was such a goody two-shoe persona.
Yeah, as much as I love her,
yeah,
I think that it just wouldn't have worked. I think Brittany Murphy was like the perfect person.
But I hate her character.
Yeah, the girl who plays Janine, his girlfriend.
Yeah, I love her.
She actually auditioned for Alex as well.
She would have been good.
I think she would have nailed it.
I love how she does that. Like, I love her voice.
Yeah.
You know, I love her little accent.
Yeah, because I don't want to say her and Brittany Murphy are very similar, but they're aesthetically very similar people.
Yeah.
So I think they were could have been interchangeable, honestly.
I could see it.
But I love Brittany Murphy, so I was okay with it. But yeah, her character was a lot left to be desired. For sure. Let's see here. Oh, so at one point they have 9 people in the vehicle. And it
reminded me of like my younger years.
I was like, damn, it's like a stupid clown car with all those people.
Dude, I have one distinct memory where we caught a ride with my friend who has a convertible, right? So it's a 2-door. And okay, so it was Ironda, Sandra, me, Jose, Alex, and he already had one person in the car. So it was him and whoever was already in the car in the front seat.
Yeah.
And I guess us 4 in the back.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yikes.
And it was like a tiny little, like, convertible, small, but we all packed on in there.
So I don't know if something happened between when my sister was in high school and when I was in high school. But I do believe at some point the laws changed. Not that they became like footloose laws and you weren't allowed to listen to music and have people in the car, but they did limit how many people you could have in the vehicle when you're driving, especially if you're like 16. So I never had a lot of people in my car. I think I had up to 2 people. And I even think that was not allowed, but still it happens sometimes. But yeah, she was talking about how, oh, hell yeah, I used to have all these people in my car. I never did that. I did it more in college, but I didn't in high school.
Here's the thing. Like, we didn't have driver's licenses, like they would just let us drive.
Oh, okay.
So I don't even know what the rule is on that. Like, obviously you need a seatbelt per person, but you all just got in there. I remember it was always like Sandra sitting on Jose's lap because it was her boyfriend.
I think at some point someone was sitting on the floorboard and then my sister had a sidekick. So it had like a tiny, like back. And I think someone was probably back there. I kind of feel like I was there for one of those, but who knows?
Yeah, I remember like
Sorry,
always getting like shoved. Like I remember we had another friend who had like a truck, but it only had like the one seat.
Yeah.
And I always ended up being stupid middle child and I had to sit next to the guy. But whatever. They took us where we wanted to go.
I remember one time my dad had to help somebody move, and there was 3 of us, and it was a truck, and I had to sit on a non-seat in between the 2 seats in the cab, and it was ridiculous.
So I have a distinct memory. I remember when I was little, like 3, 4, like infant, like memories, right? And I remember my dad had like a Scooby van. And the back seat was just like, you know, like a school bus seat, right?
Yeah.
And it didn't go all the way because obviously you could walk to the back of the van. I don't remember any seat belts for that back seat, but I think I liked being up front with my parents. And, you know, like a van, you can walk around it.
Yeah.
So I remember my dad made me a little bench and would put my bench in between their seats. And I would just sit there, like no seatbelt. Like, was somebody holding me? Was I holding on to their armrests or something? Because just think about it. These old vans with no suspensions, like, you know, and I'm just probably bouncing around, you know, because I remember like the bench wasn't bolted down because sometimes we would take it out of the van and it would be in my room. It was just like a bench, you know, like.
This is what happens when you were born in the 80s.
Yeah. And that van was probably from the 70s.
Yeah.
You know, it had the 2 back rear windows, no windows on the side, and the driver and the passenger window, and then the front windshield.
I sat in the back of my parents' Ford 5-star van or whatever it was called in the trunk with my friend. We were adults. Everybody was in the car because we were trying to go to the Ranger game. It was just a couple miles from my grandpa's house, so it wasn't too long. But if anybody had rear-ended us, we would have been dead.
Like, I feel that I don't know. I don't remember if I was driving. I feel like I was not driving, but I feel like I have been in a vehicle once where somebody was in the trunk of the car. But I need to ask my friends to see if they remember this better. Yeah. But I feel like this has happened.
Probably.
So yeah.
So we find out, and I don't know if I ever really like took note of this and it like computed in my head, but Cheddar Bob went to go talk to this girl at a party and she had told him a little detail about Papa Doc, that his actual name is Clarence. And Jimmy hears this and nothing ever is really told about that after that. And I was just like, I don't know if I eever heard them say this before.
I didn't remember that.
Yeah. And so I was like, oh, dang, that's how he knows later. I feel like we don't really watch movies sometimes when we're watching them. Like before watching it for the podcast, like I must miss a lot of shit all the time.
Yeah, I do feel like we try to pay more attention.
Yeah.
But like, obviously I saw this movie once because I for sure did that.
Yeah.
And I bought the DVD, but I don't even know if I saw the DVD or if I just watched it for the video of the Superman. No, we watched it. Yeah. I feel like I remember watching it in my brother's room with June and Yolanda.
Well, I saw it in the movie theater and then I bought the movie. So I know I at least seen it twice and then today, so that's 3 times. But I know I've caught it several other times. It's been on MTV. I've watched it here and there. And I'm pretty sure I've probably watched it by myself as well a couple other times. But I never saw that part. Or if I saw it, I didn't understand. There's a lot of times when they're talking in this movie, I have no idea what the hell they're talking about. So, like every time he just gets out all of a sudden when they're all driving and he goes to punch the people in the gang, I never understood why. Like, I get they're talking about him,
Yeah.
but
He just snapped, I guess.
everybody is talking about him all the time. So it just seems weird for that to have set him off. I guess because he was embarrassed because the girl.
Oh my God. Like, she's not no quality girl, okay?
No, she's not.
She's like fucking him in the factory. Now, listen, let's just skip that part. Let's just skip to that part, okay? Because I was so mad. Like, this is a job that you really, truly need.
Yeah.
And you're going to jeopardize it to fuck this hoe?
I like that he asked her out on a date and she was like, well, let's do something now. Like,
And
what?
that's what you do?
Yeah, you weren't like, maybe she
Meant like, let's
of
have
slutty.
coffee or something from this little food truck. You know, like, I bet you he could have banged her behind the dumpster. That's the kind of quality chick that she is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
And clearly, like, she's banging whoever, wherever. She don't care.
No.
And you know what? If that's the kind of life you want to live, that's your prerogative. But, like, this boy's going to get some STD, you know?
Yep.
So, like, just because somebody's out there ready to give it up, don't mean that you should take them up on it.
Yeah.
Because, like, he didn't use any protection.
No.
She didn't even ask. They didn't even fake pretend like, oh, I don't have any. Like, no, no. This girl's got diseases. Okay. Like, I'm sorry. Like I was completely like, you're stupid. You have this promising rap career and you're going to get a disease and you're going to die. You know, like, what if that your ex-girlfriend is actually really pregnant, or you get back with her? Because, I mean, she has a calm life, you know, and I wonder, like, why did they break up? You know, was she just too boring for you?
No, I think it's because she's an asshole. Did you?
No?
Like when she comes by his work and she just wants to talk to him. And then when he's like, I have to, you know, I'm at work, I gotta go. She's like, oh, I heard that everybody was making fun of you and like getting all defensive with him.
Whatever. What about the next person that he falls in love with, sleeps with, and gives her a disease?
You mean his mom? No.
Oh.
Honey pot.
Like, no matter how bad his mother is, she could have been a hell of a lot worse.
Oh, yeah.
She could have been addicted to drugs, you know, like even the boyfriend, like, he could have been an abuser.
He was. He's an abuser.
He didn't hit her. He
Like
shoved her.
According to, well, he like physically pushed her just because she was getting evicted from her place. He doesn't have any money. She doesn't have any money. How are you surprised?
Yeah. Either
come
ways, like.
But also it's like, dude, you have a job. You could help your mom pay the eviction. Like,
She's 3 months behind.
well, that $3,200 apparently is going to help.
Whatever.
But it's also a trailer. It's like a one-room trailer. So
Yeah, I don't know, dude. I don't know these people's finances. All I know is that situation could have been a hell of a lot worse.
yeah, it could have been.
So, luckily she was just delusional, you know, and
She was drunk. I mean, that's pretty much about it.
yeah, I mean, she drank.
Yeah,
I
not
don't-
that she's a drunk. She
like-
just was drunk.
Yeah, it's just like, I guess at this point, we've seen really bad situations portrayed in TV shows, movies, and like real crime to where her situation is very tamed.
Very
you know,
true.
like, as far as I know, like the guy, he might have, like, up until the eviction when he shoved her,
Yeah.
they didn't really mention any abuse. Like, she may be a pushover, you know, he might like might talk bad about her, but like it doesn't seem like he beat her or abused her daughter or anything.
Well, it's like just from context, it sounded like because he was like, have you told Greg that you're being evicted? She's like, no. We don't need to bring him into this. He doesn't need to know about that. Like, it seems like, she knows what would happen if he found out about stuff like that.
I took it as more of like she's having a midlife crisis. She got herself a young man. She's the hot older woman. He's going to get a settlement, so she has to play nice so that he could help them up a little bit.
Yeah.
Like...
She definitely didn't want him to leave.
She
thought he would leave if that happened,
Yeah.
which he did.
Yeah.
So she was correct.
Mm-hmm. But listen, when he got his settlement, he was going to leave her anyways.
Right?
Like, he was not going to stay with her.
Not someone who has 2 kids.
No, in a trailer?
Yeah.
Like, no, he's going to move it on up. Okay.
Yeah. Not that anything is wrong with living in a trailer. I want to make that abundantly clear. I have no problem with her living in a trailer. Mm-hmm. You got to do what you got to do.
Yeah. It's just that she's been coasting.
Yeah.
Like...
Well, she doesn't work.
She doesn't.
And he's like, Mom, go get a job. Mm-hmm. Like, literally, get a job.
Yep. Some of my best memories happen in a trailer. When we would go to Houston, my dad's friend lived in a trailer. And we had so much fun there.
So Cheddar Bob tries to stop a fight by shooting off a gun. I love how all of them are like intensely fighting, and then he shoots off a gun. They're like, "What are you doing? What are you trying to get yourself killed?" Yeah, I mean, and then he shoots himself when he tries to put the gun away. Mm-hmm. And for some reason, I thought I knew he survived that, but for some reason, I thought there was like a drive-by later and he gets shot.
I felt that he also died.
And I don't know why I thought that, but I like that you thought that too.
Mm-hmm. I actually looked up to see if there was a Mandela effect about it.
Yeah.
But people only talked about how the rap was different at the end.
It was different?
In the Mandela. I didn't actually click it because, we're talking, so I can't actually read it.
That's true.
Yeah, but if I had found something talking about him dying, then I would have read that.
Yeah. Oh, I saw that Mekhi Phifer used to be a rapper. He was signed on with Warner Brothers to have a rap career, and I was like, he's still a doctor from ER to me, and I just can't get over that. But he does a little rapping in this movie, just for a bit.
I'm just surprised how many famous actors are in this.
Right?
Well,
there's a lot of people that were supposed to be in it. Gary Sinise was going to play the mom's boyfriend. Mm-hmm. And I was like, that is a completely different character if he plays it. Yeah, that would have been super weird.
They had a great cast.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And Eminem won
an Oscar.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he didn't even show up because he didn't think he was going to win.
Nope. I believe it was like, oh, they just want me to come and perform.
Yeah.
Because he did perform at the Grammys. Mm-hmm. He's like, no, they just want me to come perform. They're not going to give me nothing. And then I don't know if they gave it to him just to show like, no, we do give awards even if you don't show up.
Yeah.
But yeah, good for him.
Good job.
Good job.
So a disturbing fact that we realized partway through the movie, his little sister Lily in real life is now 27.
I know, you were like, she's probably 30. And I started doing the math. I'm like,
yeah, you
what?
were like 1 + 1 + 2 + 1. And I was like, yeah, 27.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy? Just, I obviously I know because people grow up, but
mentally, I don't feel this old.
Yeah, 20 years for me doesn't seem that long.
No.
But like she went from a kid and now she's like an adult.
I think what the difference is why we don't feel old is because we don't have a child
maybe
that we're watching grow.
Could
like
be.
The nephews
that I'm
always like would hang out with them and take them to the movies and stuff. One of them, I went to his 18th birthday.
Ugh.
I know, 18. I was like, what the hell? He's going to graduate high school.
Yeah.
I am just like, oh my God.
It's crazy.
Yeah. He
So
needs to get a job.
yes. So Wink, he is his friend. He's like I guess a promoter of groups, and he is doing this big thing at this radio station, and Jimmy comes to see him and sees that him and Alex are hooking up.
Oh, yeah.
And I just love that in the background of this radio interview, you see them like thrashing about and beating and fighting.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just kind of funny because they're, behind soundproof glass, so they can't hear them.
Yep.
And they're not paying attention. And so you just see it in the background. It's pretty funny.
I enjoyed it.
And then after that, Wink and his crew come and beat him up.
Yep.
Because, he's the one slept with his girl. So, of course, he's going to come beat him up. Because that makes sense. Whatever.
Yeah.
And so then Jimmy is at work, and his boss, who's been riding his ass this whole entire time, finally is like, hey, do you want some overtime? He's like, sure. When? He goes, tonight. He's like, tonight? Damn. And then he asks this guy, he's like, hey, can you cover me for a couple hours? I got something to do.
Yep.
Just like, what?
I love that was like at the end after the rap and he wins. He's like, okay, so where are you going? He's like, I got to go back to work. And they're all laughing. And I love that because sometimes you could be good at something and be really passionate about it.
Yeah.
But you know what? That is not your path.
Right.
I'm not saying that it may not be his path, but right now he has shit he needs to take care of.
Well, and plus going back to work is going to get him the money that he needs to
get his studio time. Mm-hmm.
So I love that he easily wins all 3 rounds that he's in. And that he makes fun of himself.
Oh, yeah. That was the best.
And the guy is like, shit, I have nothing to say because he said everything.
Yep. He's like, I already know what you're going to say. You're going to say I'm white. You're going to say that I live in a trailer. Yeah. You're going to say, that my friend shot himself. Like he poured all of the scolding hot tea. And when his rap was over, home dude was just like, fuck, there goes all of my material.
My favorite part though, is when he's like, but I know something about you. He said his name is Clarence and his parents have a real good marriage. That is my favorite part of the whole thing. Just because the guy, he's like, oh man, no one needs to know I went to a prestigious school.
So, it came out many years after his fame that Dave Chappelle actually has a good education. His parents both went to college. One of them was like a professor and stuff. And it's like, people are like, we always thought you were from the hood. He's like, yeah, that's what you guys assumed. I just never corrected you.
I would say, okay, follow me on this.
Okay.
So Dave Chappelle, he's very intelligent and he puts jokes together very similarly to how Eminem puts his songs together. Like M may not have the education that that his language skills would collate to. So the way he does his raps and stuff, I'm just like, I didn't even know that was a word. But it is a word, It's just like, oh my God, he's so smart and can just find these different lyrics and rhymes and stuff. And I feel like that's how Dave Chappelle puts his jokes together.
Yeah.
They're very intelligent jokes and very funny. So I like that. What was I going to say? I just put he wins and goes back to, one of the big mistakes Papa Doc makes is that they do a coin flip. And they get to pick who goes first. And he's like, let this guy go first. Let this fool. I'm sure he said something worse, but I'm just going to say that. And that was a mistake. Sometimes it's better to go first because he played you.
So The only advantage, two advantages I can see is going second is they're using the same beat for both of them.
Yeah.
Which I think it's unfair because now the second person
has time to think about it.
Yeah, has the beat going and is already thinking of different words that can rhyme together.
Yeah.
And you can build off of or respond to the first person. Whereas the first person, you get 20 seconds to really get the beat down and then you just got to start rapping.
Right.
So.
Yeah, it is weird, but I'd see why they do it. So then you can kind of have a better comparison. But they also got to go first and they had time to think about it. So I don't know. I don't know what's better. I did say while we were watching this, I go, my problem would be I'd go home and then I'd be like, damn.
Why didn't I say that?
Yeah, I should have said this.
I'm very good at rhyming when I'm not trying.
Are you a poet and you know it?
No.
Oh. That was when you were supposed to say yes.
No.
Trying to think anything else about this movie. I don't know if I have anything else. Do you have anything else?
Not really. I probably won't watch this movie again for another 20 years.
At one point, I wasn't even sure if you were watching it.
I was.
I was like, she looks like she's just hanging out, doing her April things.
Yes.
All right. So we have nothing else to say about this movie.
No.
Well, happy 20th anniversary, 8 Mile. All right, April. So what would you rate this movie? I think it's
watching
gonna be bad.
it a second time or third time, hell if I know. But actually really, really paying attention to it. And that was me paying attention to it. A 4 out of 10. Not because it's not a good film.
Yeah.
It's just that once the story has been told, other than the main song, which isn't part of the rap battle, there's really no need for me to see this again.
Well, I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10 mom spaghettis.
Oh, I didn't say out of 20 years later.
Well, so I saw that there was supposed to be a second, kind of a sequel to the movie. It was going to be called Southpaw. And I was like, wait, that was a movie. So turns out that they had written this other story where he became down on his luck. And he, I guess, was going to be a boxer. I'm not quite sure. But they rewrote the movie, and that's what Jake Gyllenhaal starred in, was Southpaw.
Oh, I thought when they were talking about a second part right now, the first thing I thought, I was like, Bad Bunny.
Oh, yeah, there is an artist named Bad Bunny. I wonder if they're a huge fan of Eminem.
I don't know, but I was like, Bad Bunny.
There it is. Very interesting. All right. Well, guys, we have a treat for you next week.
Yeah.
Sort of. It is our continuation. If you followed us last year in November, then it should be no surprise what we're doing.
Yes.
If you didn't, then hey, listen next week and find out. All right. Until next time, guys.
Toodles.
Bye. This episode was produced by Two Chicks Talkin Flicks. Music was produced by Michael Giovanni. If you like this episode, please like and subscribe. If you'd like to be a part of the show, have a movie suggestion, or just want to give us some love, you can email us at twochickstalkinflicks@gmail.com. Thanks, guys. Toodles.